I get older, they stay the same age.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
This is a Bandit Radio production.
Let's go! One team!
Team One Podcast?
One Team, One Podcast.
Yeah, they did a good job. Really good job.
On this episode of One Team, One Podcast, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Zach von Rosenberg. Welcome back, guys, to One Team, One Podcast. This is Matt, and I'm here with Jack. How's it going, Jack?
Going great.
Episode 26.
26. We did this earlier.
John Battle.
John Battle. Ronald Martin.
Richard Murphy.
Richard Murphy.
Yes.
I was gonna-
Got it.
I was going to steal it from you.
All right, guys, we have a great episode tonight. We have Zach von Rosenberg, the current LSU punter, is going to be joining us today, and we're really excited about Zach coming on. What's going on right now? We have Top 25 came out today, right?
Yeah, Top 25 came out.
So give me the story on that.
They went ahead and included all the not playing teams, which is great. Love that. That makes everything fun for everybody.
Yep.
You know, because then everyone who is playing has all these teams in their top 25 who aren't playing, and everyone who's not playing is reminded that they're not playing. So good job, AP. Y'all did great.
Yeah.
Love
right?
y'all. I hate the AP poll with all my life. I wish they just would stop ranking. I wish AP people would stop doing rankings forever. That would be great.
I mean, they have to have something to
Yeah.
talk about.
Just let ESPN put up some crap, and then no one will listen to it.
Well, so all right, I know you don't like the fact that they ranked the teams that aren't going to be playing, correct? Yeah. And you feel like they were just kind of appeasing those teams to kind of keep them in the.
But it's like, who are you appeasing?
Basically, to kind of give
no
a credence to Ohio State. Like, basically, it's not Ohio State's fault, and it's not those kids' fault, right?
That's fair. That's a good point.
So I think that has to be the reason why they're doing something like that.
But why wouldn't they have just released two then, and just
one that's playing and one's non-playing?
Like this would be our preseason poll if we would have just done it if everything was normal and nothing weird was going on, and then here's our AP poll with what's actually going on.
So what do you think after the first week you're going to see those teams completely gone?
They got to. I saw so many people that are like, oh, so once Clemson loses a game, Ohio State's number one in the country? Like, no, obviously they're going to take them out. They're not playing games.
You don't think somebody's still going to vote Ohio State in there? This is vote writers.
That's true. This is the AP poll.
Yeah.
Oh, God. See, I hate the AP poll, man.
I mean, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like, college football playoff
There's
is going to be
people that go through Ohio State's schedule and be like, yeah, no, Ohio State would have won this week by 40 points.
Right.
They would have been a complete team.
To me, the whole season's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Everything about this season is going to be a blast, and I don't think people have still gotten their head around it yet.
Yeah.
That is just, I mean, this is about to be the best season you've ever had in your life. I'm 41. This is going to be the best college football season I've ever seen. If we can play.
It's going to be the most storyline filled, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so many, like, differences of this year compared to others. Like, we're playing all SEC schedule, for crying out loud. I mean, you've already seen it. When have they ever done an announcement of the schedule on SEC Network primetime?
I don't know, but they should do it every year.
They should. This is like this is opening up all the possibilities of what this could be, right?
Yeah.
And man, this is gonna be the best.
Yeah.
So we have football this weekend, by the way.
Oh,
Central Arkansas,
Austin Peay?
What's the line? I want to know what the line is.
I don't know.
I'm going big on Central Arkansas.
I'll take the dog.
You're gonna take the dog?
Whoever the dog is, I'll take him.
I don't know, man. Central Arkansas, they bringing back a lot this year.
Life's too short to bet the under, so.
No, that's true. No, you always go over.
Yeah, always go over.
Always go over.
That's
well, when we get the line, I need to get with the guys at the Out the Box because they do their the House is Always Right segment. We need to get with them on this one.
We do,
and we'll see if we can get like a friendly podcast wager. Again, guys. big shout out to Courtesy Automotive Group, Courtesy Buick GMC, Brandon Lejeune. They've been big supporters of our podcast, guys. Check out Brandon on our Facebook page. I will post his profile on there. Give him a like and a follow. Also give Courtesy a follow. He posts deals all the time over there in Lafayette, but he can also work a deal for you while you're either in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, anywhere. But he can also deliver a car to you. So perfect way to do business right now in the coronavirus days. So give Brandon a follow. We really appreciate them supporting us. We have a new sponsor coming. I won't give the details yet, but very excited. I know him very well. We'll give those details.
Can I give a little hint?
Sure.
It would give it away. Never mind.
Okay, no, we're not gonna do it.
We are the Curdog sponsor, though. So.
We are the official sponsor of Curdog football, so we will possibly have the Bazil High School. They are the Bearcats, if I remember right. So we're gonna have them on soon as well.
We're just giving it away. We're giving away the
Bearcats. Get it? All right, so we have Zach von Rosenberg on the line, guys, and he is going to be joining us. Say hello to Zach. Hey, Zach, thanks for coming on with us, man. We know you guys were just getting out of practice, so we really appreciate it. I'm going to jump right into a question for you, okay? Miles Brennan, all right? So we've heard a lot of national talk about Miles Brennan, and this is what we hear a lot of times, that he cannot compare to a Joe Burrow. He's not at that same level. Just think of a guy that maybe has just a strong arm but doesn't have any accuracy. What are you seeing as far as the accuracy goes, Zach? Because to me, it was the accuracy and the decision making that kind of put Joe Burrow on a different level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though his arm wasn't as strong. Well, now you got somebody with a stronger arm, and if he can show that kind of accuracy and decision making, obviously the sky's the limit.
Right, and that's the side of the game that Miles, I think, has had enough time to grow at. And like I said, he got to witness Joe and how he did it, and he can watch Joe's film because we're going to run the same type of offense, and we're going to see whether or not he's made that growth jump pretty quickly here in the season. We have some big games early in the year, and we'll see if Miles has made those steps. And I think he has. I'm seeing it at practice, and he's making throws that young Miles might not have made. And the touch is getting there. And the biggest issue for him was allowing himself to just be him, not feel like he has the weight of the world because Joe Burrow just threw for 60 touchdowns. We don't need another Joe Burrow. We just need Miles to be Miles. And that's something I keep telling him. I told him all off season, it's Miles season. I text him that all the time. He might bring it up, but I would text him, not every day, but pretty regularly. It's Miles season, early in the morning, lunchtime, whatever. And I'd spell season SZN instead of spelling it out.
That's how the kids do it. That's how the kids
basically,
do it.
Yeah, right. Basically, just telling him that every day he needs to know that it's his job to lose at this point. And because he's paid his dues, he's been here the longest. He knows the offense. He's got the ability. He's got the talent. I believe he's got the formula. Yeah, we've lost coaches and whatnot, but Steve Ensminger's still here. He's still a great coach. And Miles, he's got all the tools, man. He's got everything he needs, and that reflects in the Heisman Trophy odds. That's why he's third, because he has all the tools to do it. It's just a matter of going out and doing it. So
yeah, it almost feels like the national. I say that it's usually guys on Twitter that are running these little either have little podcasts like us, or they have college football hype accounts, things like that. They'll say things about LSU where we were just talking about it. We've heard a 7-3 prediction and a 6-4 prediction within the last week for LSU, and I'm like, you guys just don't know what we have coming here. Yeah. And they also don't know the scheme. They think that Joe Brady, with him leaving, that was the end all be all to the LSU offense, and we're a one hit wonder. I swear that's kind of what the attitude is. You see it with Slinger over there, and we know that he was the offensive coordinator the whole time. But a lot of people still say, "Oh, well, you're replacing your offensive coordinator," and they have no idea that Brady wasn't the offensive coordinator. He came in and he brought in a great scheme, but we're still running the same scheme. Is that right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's so basically we were going to have athletes all over the field, and I think this is, and trust me, I grew up in the Curly Hallman era and all that, so I'm familiar with LSU in the dog days, and we've always wanted athletes in space. We have all the athletes in the world, and so now we finally have all the athletes in space, and we just need a guy that can get them the ball. You feel like we have that, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, our skill positions are always ridiculous. It's like, I'm just like, dude, if I was that guy, man, I'd be like, you see how raw, like how much raw talent some of these young freshmen have, and you're just like, man. And then you have people like Eric Gilbert. It's like,
yeah,
this dude doesn't need to go to college. He could go to the league right now.
So tell us a little bit about that. Like who's striking your eye? I know you just said Eric Gilbert, but give us maybe an example.
I don't want to give too much insight because I want people to be a surprise, especially since we're only playing 10 games. We don't want, but everybody knows Eric is a freak. And then obviously Jamar, he had that record-breaking season last year. But I don't want to give up too many freshmen because we don't want people to know they're coming. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something Coach O would harp is like, we want to gather as much information and give out nothing.
I love that, and it's almost like what a great position for the best college football team in the history in 2019 to come off to an off season, and now you're being downplayed going into 2020, right? Don't you just said that yourself? You love that, right?
Oh yeah, that's honestly you're like I don't even know. You're gonna punch somebody in the mouth when they're not ready for it because they have no idea what's coming.
Is the team feeling that right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird. We're in like a weird practice schedule right now just because of the NCAA 20-hour rule right now because it's not like a traditional camp. But once we really gear things up, we also didn't have full contact practice until today. Today was our first one, and we even kind of like took it easy just because of some things going on. But I think next week, and then obviously we'll be indoors because of the rain coming up. But I think next week we'll really take it to the next level in terms of full contact and whatnot. I mean, shoot, I think we're practicing well. We have the swagger that we had last year. We had the players. We have Stingley still. We still have Jamar Chase. I mean, honestly, they're the two best players of their position. And what more could you ask for? And then, like, obviously, Miles is walking into like, if you're a quarterback, what other team would you rather be walking into in terms of players that you tools you have? Terrace Marshall,
right?
Jamar Chase, like, please, like, I want to be the quarterback,
right?
So you have these veteran guys. What's that?
You're not allowed to be the quarterback. We've already made it.
I know. No planting my feet.
Question about Miles Brennan. Does he know about his nickname, the Slim Reaper?
I will ask him at dinner after this.
Please do, and we'll get him a T-shirt because we've made one for the Slim Reaper. I should have worn it. Didn't even think about it. Should have worn it for this, but we'll get him one.
Has the 15 on the back.
It's got his 15 on it and everything. We'll get you. We'll make one for you, Zach. What's your nickname around the team?
Do I really need to say it? Grandpa.
Oh, the old man, the grandpa. Oh, perfect. I got a T-shirt coming.
No, I know. I said that because I'm tired of it's so funny. Some of the young guys don't know it, but I'm kind of that's why I stay clean shaven all the time so nobody knows. Because then when you get that.
Well, you had the mustache last year.
I did for a little while, and I had to get rid of it. It lost its swagger. Auburn played us too close, so I had to get rid of it.
Oh,
yeah.
I actually really liked that. That was fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, Miles can't grow facial hair, correct?
You can grow a little peach fuzz. Nothing crazy.
All right, so old man. Any other old man jokes that the team gives you right now?
AJ,
what's the best one you've heard?
I don't know. There's always snarky ones. I ignore them at this point. Some are funny. AJ, one of our backup walk-on quarterbacks, he used to have some good ones. I don't know any off the top of my head. Shoot. I don't know. I got nothing right now, but there's always, and that's the other thing. When you get it so often, you just start to ignore. Yeah. And I've been here so long. They're like, hey, one recently, hey, did you and Dr. Nader graduate together?
That's a good one, actually. All right, so take us back to your.
Someone said they can't hear him.
Oh, his audio. It says your audio is not working. Yeah, it is.
It is?
I believe it is. Yeah, I can see it working right here. Yeah, but anyway.
That's on the Periscope.
Oh, that must be on the Twitter app. That might be their stuff. All right, so I got a question about baseball. Take us back to your baseball days, and we have some guys from Lake Charles that listen to the podcast actually. So they were interested to know you moving from Barb over to Baton Rouge, and we're going to have another Barb player next week with Justin Vincent. So I feel like we have the most famous alums from Barb High School. Well, you didn't graduate from Barb, but two famous attendees from Barb back-to-back weeks. But then tell us a little bit about your major league days too.
So I transferred after was it 2006? Hurricane Rita it was 2005. Wow. So it had been fall of 2005, right after Hurricane Rita, I believe.
Yeah, Rita was real bad over there, right?
Yeah, my parents got better jobs in Baton Rouge, and that was I kind of moved to Zachary after that, and it was the #1 school district, so like, why not? Like I said, my parents upgraded. My mom got to start a new nursing program. I won't go on into that tangent, but went to Zachary, kind of started their program from the ground up. We didn't really have for example, our press box was a deer stand. And now, if anybody's been to Zachary recently, it's like a really nice park. It looks so good now. I think they even have turf on the infield. Whenever I played on it, it was more like a cow pasture. At least my first year for sure. But it got nice while I was there, and then obviously after. And some people see that we had a good program. They start throwing money at you and helping you build up the program. And so, like I said, they have a very nice facility now. And then I got drafted 2009 Pirates. It was different. It was a culture shock being away from Louisiana for significant periods of time. The hardest transition was bus rides, in my opinion, because you're going 8, 10, 12 hours on a bus across the country to play games. And sometimes, off the top of my head, we played in Lakewood, New Jersey. We played a 19-inning game, and so we didn't finish the game until about 3 p.m. Didn't leave the park until probably, I don't know, shortly after that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we had a 7-hour bus ride and a 10 a.m. game the next day, and I'm pretty sure we moved it back to 11 because they delayed it because of our previous night's game. But I had to pitch, so we literally just showed up to the park. And that was, needless to say, that was rough. And that's the side of baseball, especially in the minor leagues, that nobody hears about. It's not glamorous. You eat PB&Js about 90% of the days you're playing baseball, and it's just different. And I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trashing it, but that makes it almost, in terms of playing, it makes it a little unrealistic, because when you get to the big leagues, you got it made. I think starting pitchers are allowed to fly to the next city days before the game just to get acclimated to the new time zone, whether it be an East Coast, West Coast thing. Like, it's so much different. Whereas, I like to use the Bull Durham example where, how they're playing. It's a little bit of that. And I don't know if it's changed since I've been in the game, because I've heard they've changed a lot of things in terms of clubbies, for example, are no longer played by minor league players, are tipped out. It comes straight from Major League Baseball, which is a minor thing, but there's a lot of changes that have happened just since I've been out of the game. And but those bus rides and that, I guess I could call it grind, is just so different than playing high school baseball. The longest trip you're going to make in Louisiana is like 3.5 hours if you're going from New Orleans to Shreveport, or 4 hours. It's nothing crazy, but there it's some places I even heard in like the Midwest League, they have like 18-hour bus rides. It's insane. I couldn't even imagine.
No.
That's rough. But and then, like I said, I did well my first year. I probably should have stuck with a lot of what I did, my mechanics and whatnot. If we're going to get technical, I should have stuck with a lot of what I did in high school. But I tried to, I listened to a lot of advice and tried to change a lot of what I was doing because they were trying to mesh me into maybe something I wasn't. But I wanted to believe, what they were telling me. So that probably messed with my delivery a little bit. And then, eventually messed with my arm. I started having different arm problems here and there. And then ultimately, I had every opportunity I could. And that's why I tell people when they ask me, like, look, I failed at baseball. It just wasn't in the cards for me. I wasn't meant to play baseball long term. And honestly, after 2019, I'm not that mad about it, but I did, obviously I gave it my all. I have no regrets about baseball. It still kind of stings. I don't know if you can tell my demeanor. It still kind of stings to talk about it because I know how much time and effort and money and whatever I put into baseball. But sometimes things just aren't meant to work out. And, that was my dream, but it was time to find a new dream, and that's kind of the boat I fell in. And the hardest part was just picking yourself back up because shoot, like, you're only a loser if you stay down. Somebody's got to, if you don't get up, then that's it. And I wasn't willing to. I was down for a while, and I might have gone through a little bit of depression there, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not going to do this forever. But it was a game that was taken for me. I felt like a little too early, and like I said, I have no regrets. I met some great people. I had a lot of fun. I got to play a kids game for money, and so I'm just fortunate enough that after that kids game ended, I got to play another kids game, and put on another jersey, and here we are talking about and joking about maybe getting a seventh year,
No, you've definitely turned that situation into like people now remember you. Like, how many punters do we really think about in college or at LSU, anything like that? Like, Zach, you're like a guy that's almost larger than life now with the LSU team, and on Twitter, you're on fire, man. Right?
I don't know. I'm honestly too quick. I'm too quick to think sometimes, like, because I have no filter, and I hate to say it, but a lot of people
things.
I know, because I realize that Twitter has become your best friend and your worst enemy.
Yes,
and it has to be carefully calculated sometimes.
Have you tried Parler yet?
I got on it, but it's just there's some weird stuff on there. I was like, oh,
it's way out there.
I was on it for like a day or two, and I was like, all right, I don't know if I like this.
we tried it for a second, but yeah, it's not for us.
Yeah, I prefer Twitter because I follow up the right accounts and I get the right news that I want to read. And I hate to say it, but like people don't have cable really anymore. So I don't watch news there anyway. And I'd rather read my news anyway, because then you can get perspectives of a bunch of people instead of, one, outlet or whatever. And so that's kind of how I filter through information that may or may not be true or have some true. You know what I mean? I try to like be as well-rounded in finding out information as I can. And I feel like that's a problem we have today with clickbait and, all the issues. I think I literally read an article about this like 2 days ago. It said like 70-something% of people see a headline and don't even read the article.
Oh, absolutely.
They just form up an opinion based on a headline.
And then the guy who wrote the article didn't actually make the headline. So you have like a complete misinformation that can happen. It's almost like me whispering something in your ear and then you tell 20 other people
telephone,
what I said. Yeah. Exactly. So same thing. But you're a good follow, man, on Twitter. So very entertaining. We got to get Miles, though. You got to tell him, man. You got to get Miles to get his Twitter game up a little bit, right?
Now, Miles likes to hunt, fish, golf. He likes to have that's his reset button. Mine's playing with my dog, and I'll fish a little bit, but nothing crazy. And but I'm trying to I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do post athletics, because like this has kind of been my outlet for so long now. It's just like kind of freaking me out. Like,
You're gonna run for office, right?
Right. I was like, what do I do now? So I'm trying
all right. We play a game on our podcast called Guess Miles Brennan's Weight. And we've been playing it for weeks, and we'll have different guests on, and they can guess Miles Brennan's weight. You know him really well. Have you ever seen him get on a scale and you've seen what his weight is?
Yeah, last time I know he's gained more weight since then. Last time I saw him weigh in, he was like 214, and I bet he's up to 217 or 18 now.
All right, 217. That was it. That was
Wait,
it.
really?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I think we're right there. I think we're there.
Wow.
Do you feel like he's too fat now?
I need to start calling him chunky, because he is thick.
Chunky,
He's a little thick, but I mean, you need to be. You're going to take some hits in this league. So I get it, and I know how hard it was for him to gain weight, because I remember his sophomore year, he was drinking like 2,000 calorie milk or shakes every day, and he would come in and not gain a pound. It was the most bizarre thing. I'm like, if I drink that, I'll be 5 pounds heavier tomorrow.
These young kids and their metabolism, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Me and you can relate, right?
Right. He's finally where he needs to be. But
well, good. Yeah, he's outgrowing the name Slim Reaper, I think, already.
Oh, yeah,
so he's getting up there a little bit. Well, good. Again, man, we really, really appreciate your time. We want to have you as a future guest again too, Zach. Okay, so we're always going to be coming after you for info. And
awesome.
and when we do a political,
hopefully we can do it in person too at some point.
Yeah, that would be great, man.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, we have a helmet right in front of us over here too. One day I'm going to get you to sign that helmet. Every LSU player that I want to have on this podcast, I want to get them get a signature on that helmet. So I'll hook up with you one day, and hopefully we can make that happen. Okay.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right, bud. We appreciate your time, man.
All right. Take care, fellas. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. See ya.
All right, guys, that was Zach von Rosenberg, ZVR09. Audio may not have been working on live streams.
Sounds like if you were watching live, you
Sorry
couldn't
about
hear
that.
Zach. So
I am the executive.
crossed.
I am the executive producer. So send your emails directly to me.
Mm-hmm. Any formal complaints can be.
It is what it is.
to Matt
I'm going to write a book one day, and it's going to be called "It Is What It Is" by Matt Anderson. So. Yeah, so hopefully it worked. But anyway, I liked hearing his answers. I don't know if you guys did, because you probably didn't hear it. But we will have it recorded to where we can play the audio tomorrow.
Hopefully
now we've
his
teased
audio
it, right?
is on there.
I think it is on there, but we've teased it now to where you really want to hear what he had to say now, right?
Jesus Christ, what is he saying? I just want to know. That was a good question.
Oh, my God. So the technology, man.
Yeah.
I'm too old for technology. I think that's what it is.
As is Zach.
Zach is too.
Yep.
And me and him, I relate to Zach.
Yeah.
I wonder if his back is feeling all right, because my back is feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
Got my little shot last week, so I'm up and around.
One of my favorite times that I was following Zach von Rosenberg was when they were replaying the national championship game, and he punted like 7 times in the game, which was like by far the most he punted all year. And he goes, "Oh boy, here I come out again." And he would just, every time he came out to punt, he would tweet something.
Oh, that's
it was
good.
Really funny.
I really enjoy him. It's so great to have a guy like a character like that, because I think of him as like a character, like a 30-year-old punter.
It's so funny.
Just getting ribbed. He's taking Miles Brennan out for dinner now. Like, to me, that's just hilarious, right?
Yeah.
And that he could possibly be a 6th or 7th year senior.
Oh my God,
that's unbelievable.
32 years
at 30,
old.
yeah, he's a 30-year-old.
Yeah,
about to be senior right now, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, really appreciate everybody that's tuned in. But we are going to have this on Spotify, Apple, and all the likes. Also, go to our website to where you can see all of our old episodes and this one. You can also go to our shop page. And again, huge shout out to Courtesy Automotive Group. They're our sponsors. We may have a new sponsor coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, starting next week, I think.
I heard about it.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. And I already told Brandon. I said, "Hey, Brandon, you're my first.
Yep.
You'll always be my first."
Is this still the Courtesy Automotive Studio?
Still the Courtesy Automotive Studio that we're in, where my audio apparently doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Courtesy. I mean, email Brandon Lejeune with any of your complaints.
Yeah.
All right, so what else is going on? Did you play golf this week?
I played a couple times.
So the weather was perfect today where you could have played, right?
Yeah, I definitely could have played today.
So tomorrow doesn't look great, and then Wednesday for sure doesn't look good. Usually it's like before and after a hurricane.
I mean, I got school and work now, so it doesn't even matter.
School.
Yeah, facts.
Are they going to be online? What's the deal?
Not yet. Well,
You
I have,
think that they
I have
think
like
they
3
are?
online classes and 2 on campus. And my on campus, I'm sure, will be moved to online.
Do you
swiftly?
Do you think that you're going to go to school for a short amount of time, and then all school is going to be changed to online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. And if not, it'll be like professor by professor. You know, I've seen multiple professors that are like, "Hey, we're gonna switch to online for the semester," and
Okay.
I think it's just gonna eventually be to where that there's so few classes that are on campus that it's just not even gonna matter.
Right.
Because there are some like labs and stuff that absolutely have to be on campus.
Yeah.
So
I know. I think this is just a crazy year that you need to adapt. And why put all these kids in bad situations or put your school in like a terrible PR situation? That's what it is more than anything. I don't think anybody's worried about I shouldn't say that. I don't think people are as concerned about kids just getting so deathly sick from this. I think they're more concerned about a huge outbreak and what does that look like for the state, and especially with your flagship university. And this is going all over the country. This is going on everywhere. Like North Carolina, same thing, where they shut down the school.
Michigan State
just happened. That's right. They weren't playing football anyway.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But still, another place where I think it was Vanderbilt. It was another one where they had some tests that came back.
Vanderbilt had a good amount of players that were up in arms about playing football or something like that. It's kind of like what Zach said about reading headlines and then not reading the articles. So
You did the same thing?
yeah, I kind of did that.
Oh,
there.
goodness gracious.
Well, I read the article and it was about Vanderbilt football, so I was like, I'm not clicking on that bullshit.
Yeah, no, and I don't care about what Vanderbilt's going through either right now.
Really don't.
Just move. I honestly, you're gonna have. I think if you're gonna have players that get sick this year, you just move on. You move on. And are there gonna be? Is there gonna be a team out there that gets infected with like 10 kids and they're like big time play? Probably something like that's gonna happen. And you know what? You just have to keep going. It's kind of like Major League Baseball a little bit.
I kind of think that's why the SEC put that. There's like a week in between the last week of the season and the SEC championship.
Okay.
I kind of think they put that there in case there's a canceled game somewhere.
Or like
And you can
a
just move it
postpone
back.
until
Right.
that's
Move
probably
it to December 12th. I think
that's
is
a good
the-
idea.
is the date.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen, and I think you're probably going to have a case where one team has a good player that is out for a game or two, and they have to be out, and it's kind of like an injury report. I think we've said that a long time ago.
Yeah,
And
we
it's
did.
like just move on. And I think of the Major League Baseball right now, where they have some teams that have played I don't know how many games. 20-something games, and then you have another team that may have only played like 10 to 15 games.
Right.
And are they going to be able to get all their games in? I don't know. But it is what it is. Keep going. I think that's the only way this is going to work.
I agree.
Because the news media, the national news media, is going to be all over the first time some team has a little spike, and it's like, I mean,
Yeah. I know we said last week that Ross Dellinger is he's just doing his job and whatever, but good Lord, he is annoying to follow on Twitter right now.
oh, he is, and he's just taking that company line of the Sports Illustrated line.
And I love Ross Dellinger.
I really like him too.
But right now, I couldn't get less of him.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like he's just kind of, and shout out to Stephen Miller. He always says it's the Corona Bros. He's one of those kind of guys. I agree. I think that they kind of just need to chill out with the whole media circus and creating stories at this point. And then let's just let it happen. Let's let things. It's already been known. Like we all know that the Big Ten rushed into a decision at this point. Stop trying to defend their decisions. Yeah. There was nothing there to back up the reason why you needed to make that decision so quickly. Yeah. You could have let it play out. Right. The SEC is letting it still play out. If something happens between now and September 26th, trust me, the SEC will act. Yeah. But nothing's happened. So let it keep going. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's so frustrating, too, to watch is, there are some Big Ten parents that want to protest the Big Ten's decision and all that, and that's their right. And then you have some Corona bro journalists that are like, these parents don't know what they're talking about. The Big Ten's trying to keep their kids safe and all this and that. And it's just like, well, they have the right to their own opinion about their child's safety.
They do. So, and if their child wants to play, and that's why I always went back to just let the kids sign waivers if that's what you're worried about. Right. I don't understand what the problem is if they want to play. I'm still waiting for the first shoe to drop with a player trying really, really hard and getting a lawyer involved to transfer from a large school to another large school to play this year.
I saw Lane Kiffin was like advocating for
he wants that.
For players to be able to transfer to the SEC.
Absolutely. And I think that should happen. I think the SEC got involved, right? Where Greg Sankey may have came over and said that's not happening this year. I don't know if there was some. I don't know really. I didn't read up enough on it to kind of know all the details on that. But I think there was something that blocked it somehow, and I'm not sure where that was. But I saw today where
that's crazy.
North Dakota State is playing one game.
Yeah, they're playing against Central Arkansas.
One game. They play one game. So Trey Lance.
Everybody's gonna be watching for Trey Lance, right?
Why can't he transfer somewhere? Division
it's
2,
crazy.
1AA, he could transfer
crazy.
somewhere. Does he not want to?
Does
it not make sense for him or something?
Maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know. It's just we were expecting this big mass exodus of players, and I think part of what's keeping them where they're at is the idea of having spring football. And maybe it's because there is a spring football potential that they wouldn't be allowed to transfer and get immediate eligibility. Because, you're already at a school that's going to play a season this year.
Right. No, I get that, but they have to be able to get around that, right? Like, wouldn't a good...
I don't know. I don't know how the NCAA works.
I feel like a good lawyer could get around this and get something in place to where that kid could go play immediately, especially if it's a guy that's a senior and there's no sure bet that you're going to play in the spring either.
Well, right, but those kids do have another year of eligibility.
They do, but won't they would want to go to the league. I bet you there's some kind of way that they can get around this with monetary. It's kind of like when you get an insurance policy out if you're a junior going into your senior year. They can,
right, but you can't get that money until after you're out of college.
No, but I'm saying they can get estimates on how much money they would be worth coming out that next year, and they could sue for that money. I don't know. I'm just speaking out loud. I like to play hypothetical. That's what we do.
Alex King, you know that?
Yeah.
He said, I really like that tight end for Mississippi State. Who are you talking about, Alex?
Tight end for Mississippi State. Oh, you want him? Is that what it is?
Mississippi State?
Is it Mississippi State or Michigan State?
He said Mississippi State.
I don't know who that is.
Me neither.
Tight end.
Maybe he's talking about Penn State. They got that.
I always wanted an Iowa tight end.
Penn State's got probably the best tight end in the country.
I don't think we need a tight end.
Oh, yeah. No, I completely agree.
I think we're pretty good.
I'm just trying to figure out what the question is.
Every week I keep hearing about Eric Gilbert, and the better and better I feel. Yeah. Not that I ever felt bad, but
Pat Fryermuth. I think he's talking about Pat Fryermuth
from Penn State.
from Penn State. Powers. No, maybe he is talking about Mississippi State. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about the Mississippi State tight end. Or is Mississippi State going to use a tight end? That's a good question.
Yeah.
They will?
In the passing game? Yeah.
Oh, they're like 4 or 5 whites.
If they get a good one.
They're gonna.
Mike Leach is gonna use whatever they got because they got nothing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but I don't remember ever seeing a tight end in his.
Yeah, he didn't recruit tight ends.
No, I mean
But
probably
if
had.
he has one, I'm sure he'll use it.
He probably uses like 12, 13 wide receivers. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And running backs.
He
He
really
usually
does.
has his running back score.
Powers Warren. I think this is who he's talking about. Powers Warren. He's a junior. Looks like a beast.
So who's going to play? So quarterback from Mississippi State. Now that we're on this Mississippi State train.
Yeah. What's his face? Stanford guy.
Yeah.
KJ Costello.
Costello. Okay.
Right.
You think he's going to be pretty good for them?
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to put up a ton of yards just because
it's just I don't know who's catching the ball for him. So
yeah. Right.
I have no
And
idea what their receivers.
Kylan Hill is going to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the top 3 back in the SEC or something like that.
Right.
Between him, Najee, and probably like Zamir White or something.
Man, Najee Harris.
Yeah, Najee's probably the best, and then I'd say it's between Zamir White and
What's Najee Harris's odds for Heisman Trophy?
not high because he's a running back. It's a quarterback award.
I would look at it and I would seriously think about it,
Go ahead.
especially if it's like
Yeah, I would support that.
plus 1,000, plus 2,000, something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, I'd put a little bit on
Yeah.
that.
he doesn't have any pad stat games, which are huge for running backs.
Yeah, and Sarkisian's still going to keep it open, especially with their wide receivers. But
Yeah.
man, that dude is a beast.
10 SEC games, 10 SEC defenses running against.
Yeah,
It's tough.
but
He's not gonna have that Eastern Michigan game to have 200.
do you feel like stats are going to be the key for a Heisman Trophy this year, though, or is it going to be
He's
like
gonna be best player on the best team, probably.
that? I kind of feel like that could be the case too.
Most likely, yeah.
Unless
There's always the years though, like Lamar Jackson. Louisville was what?
yeah,
9-3,
I mean he
but
basically
Lamar
just
Jackson was just incredible. Same
yeah,
with
just
RG3.
superstar, right?
There have been players like that. RG3, Lamar Jackson, Johnny Manziel.
Well, who would be those guys this year though? Like
I don't know. All 3 of those guys came out of nowhere, except
right,
for RG3.
Spencer
I guess.
Rattler.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be good, but I shouldn't say that. But I think he's going to be good. I just don't think he's that. I think he's a head case.
he's gonna look great.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is good, but he'll look great.
Well, and then the
Just
thing is, they're
Riley.
playing Big 12 teams, and it's all Big 12 opponents.
Oh man, did you see that PFF?
And you got Trevor Lawrence, of course.
PFF,
Yes.
the stat guys or whatever.
Yeah.
They came out with they had 5 their 5 all-conference quarterbacks. It was Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and those were the 2 ACC and Big Ten representatives.
Right.
And then I think it was Keaton Slovis for USC for the Pac-12,
Okay.
and then Big 12 was Sam Ehlinger, which I thought was interesting. And
Yeah.
probably.
I guess that's
probably
right.
fair and true. Right.
But Rattler have better
that Rattler
stats.
will have better numbers, and people will probably say Rattler's better at the end
So,
of the
okay,
year.
give me the SEC.
And then you're not going to like it. It's
Kellen Mond,
Nope.
Mac Jones,
I'll give you one more guess.
Jamie Newman.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah.
See, this is why. All right, there's people like that, and then there's Vegas, right?
Uh-huh.
And Miles Brennan is the number 1 quarterback in the SEC Heisman odds
Yeah.
because they know what we know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what these guys are thinking. Also, though, wasn't there another Vegas odd that had us over under 6.5?
Yeah, that was updated quickly to 7.5.
Because
which is
everybody
still too
poured
low.
the money on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's still too low at
8-2
7.5.
is our baseline, and I keep saying
now
that.
I think I saw that it moved down to 7.
Move down to 7?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll hammer that.
Yeah, me too.
8
There's
and
no
t-
way it goes under 7.
And I've said it before, guys. I think we're going 10-0. I know that's crazy talk, and I know it's purple and gold sunglasses, all that kind of stuff. But I look down that schedule, and I can't see where we're going to definitely lose a game.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I agree.
Florida and Auburn will be on the road. Of course, those are tough games to play on the road, but I don't think you're going to have max capacity in either one of those stadiums, and we are going to come out like gangbusters going to play those two road games with not 100% fans. So say it's going to the Swamp and we play in front of, say it's 50,000. That's not the same as playing in the Swamp max capacity. So a guy like Miles Brennan can go in there, be a little bit more comfortable. That's all we need, man.
Yeah.
But then LSU, Alabama, who knows what it's going to be like by that time. But it could be the roles reverse where Alabama comes in here and we don't have a max capacity stadium. But I just feel like we're going to be so up for an Alabama game. It's hard for me to tell you that we're going to lose that one.
With that Florida game, too, I mean, we just have nothing before that game.
No.
You got Mississippi State at home.
Oh, it lines up perfect.
At Vandy, Missouri.
It lines up perfect.
Florida is going to Texas A&M right before they play us.
And again, I go back to last year, and it took me a while to get my mindset right. And I know Joe Burrow's not on this team. I know Joe Brady's not here anymore. I get it. But I know the offense that we're still running, and I know Miles Brennan has a cannon, and we have tons of receivers.
Right. Well, like, my thing is, like, what does Joe Burrow and Joe Brady have to do with this team? Because, like, if you don't think about them and you just look at this team, it's like, yeah, that's a good team.
We are still going to outscore teams, and I actually think our defense is going to be better this year than it was last year. So it comes back to, okay, I already know what our offense is going to be able to give us. Can Florida score 24 to 30 points against us? They scored 28 last year, and it took the game of Kyle Trask's life to get there.
Yeah, in a terribly called game by
Dave first
Aranda.
Half was awful by
Right.
Aranda.
Yeah.
So he finally figured it out a little bit,
Yeah.
but I feel like it got too cute, and all Mullen did was just kind of pick them apart with Pitts.
I don't know what happened in the past week, but something just really made me feel sour about Dave Aranda's year last year. He just
There was a lot. Yeah.
He was so bad last year.
There was
at
when
times.
when he locked in, and it was almost like it's a little bit like the offense where finally when they figured it out, they figured it out. And it was same
Sure.
with the defense. Once they
Sure.
got it figured out, it was locked down.
It just took him so damn long to figure it out.
Yeah, the adjustments took a little longer, and putting guys in bad spots. The Alabama game is a great example at the end where there's no reason why Alabama should have been as close as they were to us at
Right.
the end of that game. That
And-
was
and
just
some of-
bad scheme on the defensive side.
Yeah. Some of that I can kind of forgive because Alabama had as good offense as anybody except for us. But the touchdown that we gave up at the end with the press coverage, that made me so angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were so many times where we did that exact same thing. I remember against UCF, we were in press man coverage with like 8 seconds left.
Yeah.
In the half.
Look, I get it. We're a man-to-man coverage
Can't
team,
remember. It was
and
like our
we
seventh corner.
we play best with press coverage. But there's times when you back
Right.
off.
Yeah.
Like that's one of them.
Right.
That's when you play like guy in
Cover
the center
four.
field,
Right. Yeah,
and it's dumb. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
But vice versa. It reminds me of a little bit of Pelini when he first came to LSU. So when Pelini first came to LSU, the first game that they played was Arizona State, and that was the Hurricane game where we went to Arizona State. And Pelini was playing off. Like he was playing zone in a lot of coverage, things like that. I forget the kid's name, the quarterback at Arizona State. They picked us apart. I think he threw for 350.
Right.
Maybe closer to 400 on us that first game, and Jamarcus bailed us out at the end.
I know you're talking about.
After that game, Pelini figured it out, and he played press coverage the rest of his career here. But it took that one time to realize, okay, I have the athletes that I need to actually put in this kind of situation. It was the opposite, though.
It wasn't
with
a little bit of that, the like Les Miles kind of,
saying,
like not letting him open up his defense all the way.
I don't know about
remember you
that.
saying something about that. Like Les Miles didn't really want Pelini. Like I don't know. I thought I remembered you saying something about that.
I don't know if he ever. I don't know if Miles ever dipped into Pelini at all.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I
thought I remembered you saying that.
I think Pelini was just coming in thinking that was what was going to work against a team like that, and it basically slapped him in the face saying, "I don't have zone coverage players. I have
blitz the shit
straight
out of
ass man-to-man guys, and I need to be aggressive as all get out." And that's why I think he's going to come in and he's going to know exactly what he needs to do with this kind of athlete.
Yeah. I can't wait to.
I can't either, man.
To
And I'm
see
hearing more and more
Jacoby
stuff
Stevens turn
about.
into a LaRon Landry type of guy.
Oh, for sure. And I'm hearing more and more about Damone Clark and Jabril Cox and how they're just going to be monsters.
Yeah. I saw Jacoby Stevens actually was talking about how smart of a player Jabril Cox is and how he's so excited to play alongside him.
Yeah. You got a guy who's got so much experience being able to step into this. And, a guy like Jabril Cox, think about it. Like he's stepping into the highest level of competition he can be in at this time. And, he's got to be stoked, right? Like he's got to be coming in thinking, I finally got to the place where I could really showcase myself, and think how much that's going to do for his draft stock to be able to he was already pretty highly thought of coming out of North Dakota State. Now coming over to LSU, if he's able to put production on the board at LSU his senior year, just coming in like that, he's going to shoot up the boards. So,
yeah, I mean, there were guys saying that. Zach just asked if that was live. There were guys saying last year that going into the draft that Jabril Cox would have been a second-round pick. So you just add a second-round draft pick to your team, basically.
Right.
Which is great.
It is.
And I mean maybe he was only a second-round pick because he hadn't played against elite talent yet, and now he's coming to play with elite talent so that he can prove that he's the first-round pick. It's very exciting. Another question from Alex King. He asked what we think of Chris Curry's hands, if we think he's good at catching passes. And go back and watch.
I think he is.
Go back and watch the Oklahoma game. Burrow dumped it down to him a few times, and he looked very fluent catching the ball.
Yeah, I see. All right, so a couple of things with the running backs. I see Chris Curry as being as close as you can. I know he's very aggressive runner. I get all that, but he reminds me a little bit more of Edwards-Helaire than any of the other backs that we have.
Really?
I feel like he's more scat backish because of his size. I do think he can run up the middle and all that kind of stuff.
You're excluding Covontre Bradford.
I am. I haven't seen him play. So I haven't seen him play. I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
Is that
he's the
comp of
Clyde.
Helaire?
Yeah.
So I then also see John Emery as being a complete home run hitter in the passing game. Screen passes, things like that. I could see him lined up out in the slot on a linebacker, doing like a little,
Who did you say? I'm sorry.
John Emery.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I could see him being that great role with that. Then I could really see Price Davis being your like bruiser up the middle. Mm-hmm. Even though Chris Curry can do that, I think Chris Curry is probably a little bit quicker than probably Davis Price is.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm thinking.
I'd never thought of Chris Curry as kind of like scattish, but that actually makes a lot of sense. That'll depend on how well Covontre Bradford does, because if Covontre Bradford's there to do that kind of thing, I think he'll slide right into that scat back role.
Yes.
Although he doesn't look like a typical scat back. He's 6 feet tall, 180 pounds.
You're talking about John Emery?
No, Covontre Bradford.
Oh, Bradford.
He's tall. He's a pretty tall dude, and I watched his. I never watched his high school tape before. He's got really good hands. Like he was.
I'm wondering.
Austin guys.
I'm wondering how he gets on the field. I hear it all. I understand, but how does he get on the field?
I do get a little too into Coach O's talk, but
yeah, because you know how it is.
It's a lot of coach speak. Yeah, for sure.
He talks it up.
Yeah. And I think he adds guys to discussions sometimes so that other guys in front of them feel the pressure of competition, basically.
Right. Four backs, I don't see how that would. I don't know. I almost feel like it would be getting the people out of rhythm.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how they play that. I could easily see how we would have a package for three backs.
it kind of reminds me of 2012 when you kind of went into the season. You had Kenny Hilliard and Alfred Blue and Jeremy Hill and Spencer Ware, Michael Ford, and then they all played during the year. And then middle of the season, Jeremy Hill has the big game against South Carolina, and he just completely takes over the running back position completely, and no one else even sees any touches hardly.
Right.
I could see something like that happening, and I would say John Emery would be that guy.
I would think so too. I know I was very excited to see John Emery last year, and of course Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He completely exceeded all of my expectations because I wasn't as high on Edwards-Helaire at the beginning of last season.
I mean,
but
I was about as high on Clyde as anybody I knew, and he even exceeded my expectations. I mean, I didn't see first round pick. I never thought of him like that ever.
Right. Yeah, Zach is now getting into Twitter. We'll call it Twitter beef with Preston Guy on Twitter right now. So, again, we had Zach Von Rosenberg on the show earlier, guys. We will, yeah. So I just saw his reply again. We had him on earlier. We may have had some audio difficulties with Zach on the show, but we will have him recorded on our podcast that will air tomorrow. Again, big shout out to our sponsor, Courtesy Automotive Group, Courtesy Buick GMC. We're live from the Courtesy Automotive Studio, and we're presented by Courtesy Automotive Group. Brandon Lejeune. So, you guys, follow us on Facebook. Whenever I post our episodes on Facebook, I also tag Brandon Lejeune at Courtesy Automotive Group. Give him a follow also. He is pumping out vehicles out of Lafayette, and you're trying to show the fan. Where you're trying to here.
The ball.
I'll give you a fan.
Give me the ball.
No, there you go. Hold the fan up. Yeah, fan yourself. There you go. Brandon Lejeune, he will deliver cars to you as well. So hit him up. He posts deals all the time. He can get a deal for you. He can work the numbers for you while you're in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, wherever you're at. But then he can actually set it up to where he'll deliver it straight to you. It's the best deal ever. It's the best way to get a car these days, especially with Corona going on. And with hurricanes. I think he was at work today, if I'm not mistaken. But he may be off tomorrow and Wednesday with the storms coming in over at his way. So I'll have to check in with him. I'll make sure he's okay. We had sunny skies here. I don't see any wind blowing right now in Baton Rouge, but hopefully everybody stays safe for the next couple of days. And we will be back Thursday night. We'll be on the SEC Bias podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe Friday night. I'm not sure if we're going to have that yet, but that might be for our high school show. And we might try to do a high school Friday Night Lights kind of episode in the future here soon. Maybe showcase some of these high school teams. And then next Monday, possibly Justin Vincent, guys. Right. He couldn't make it this week, so Zach kind of pinch hit for us today. And then hopefully we have Justin next week. So, again, guys, we really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And check us out on Twitter, One Team, One Pod. We got YouTube.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, we got somebody saying something?
LSU sports fans asked a few minutes ago, offensive line, and then I forgot to bring it up. But then they said, O-line, question mark.
Oh, so they really want to know.
They really want to.
It's a real deal.
They
okay.
really want this question.
We'll stop our outro. What's the question?
Just feels like there's question marks everywhere. That's what they said.
Offensive line?
Yeah. So here's what I'll say about the O-line.
Go ahead.
Center was probably my biggest question mark. And Miles Brennan has said that Liam Shanahan is great, and he loves the.
Yeah, I'm feeling super confident with Liam Shanahan. And it feels like he just stepped right in, and it was like maybe everybody was a little tense, and then it just kind of like,
yeah,
like, all right, we have the guy now. Chasen Hines was going to be the guy,
right? And now you can kick Chasen Hines out to guard and give guard a little bit more. It just has so much depth everywhere.
I think we have way more depth this year than we had last year, because you have Cardell Thomas. It sounds like. Cameron Wire. You got
Wire.
Doomerville and
They
tackles.
say Doomerville's great.
Yeah. Derry Rosenthal is apparently.
Coach O called him a first-round pick.
That's crazy, man.
I mean,
that's crazy.
You might improve at left tackle after losing Sadiq, which is crazy.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I think
I say might.
You just need somebody solid right
That's me
there,
getting
which
into coach
sounds
speak
like.
a little too much again. But
I mean, let's go back to this. Are you more solid feeling with Dari Rosenthal than you are with Austin Deculus?
yes,
I am too.
I
feel like there's a bad shot towards Deculus.
I'm a little
but
hard on Deculus sometimes.
I am
just because
too.
like
he gave up a couple of
he's
plays.
improved so much every single year.
He
and
has.
I'm sure he will again.
I think
this
we
year.
still think of 2 years ago with Deculus.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do.
Um,
and that 2018 O line definitely underperformed, but I think that they were very good. And then you saw with a good offense, that offensive
So
line was
Cardell
great.
Thomas, his second year at LSU, coming out of high school, his second year, would you have thought he would have been starting by now?
Yes.
I would have too. And I don't think that's a shot
I thought
against
that by
Cardell
the end
Thomas.
of 2019 he'd be starting because he's just a mauler.
I think with Ed Ingram coming back, it changed everything.
Yeah.
And now with Liam Shanahan coming, I feel very, very secure
Cardell
with our
got
offensive.
injured. Cardell got injured.
I know he
in the
did, but
election.
with Ed Ingram coming in though, that was just it took a spot.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you had to play the guy. He's too good.
Yeah.
But now you got a guy like Cardell Thomas who could probably start for most SEC teams.
Ed Ingram might be the best guard in the country.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
He really might be. I mean, he could be. I could see him working his way up into the early second round.
So you also have Bradford as a backup guard. So to me, you have a lot of depth. So if Shanahan goes down, you have Hines.
You can plug Hines right in, and we haven't even mentioned Anthony Bradford.
That's what I'm saying, Bradford.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you just say him?
I just said him. So
Sorry,
Anthony Bradford was
I was
also a backup guard. So to me, you have a lot of depth in the middle of your line.
Right.
Maybe a little less on the outside, or maybe less experience on the outside, but it sounds like you have a lot of good talent in the middle.
Oh yeah.
I think
we're loaded in the middle.
I don't know. Again, this goes back to who do we have? Are you just looking at what we lost last year, or are you not seeing what we have coming back?
Right. And it's hard to keep track of a team that you don't follow, like what their depth looks like, you know?
Right.
Because like if you follow the team as closely as we do as fans, then like yeah, we know Anthony Bradford is a beast.
Well, you start looking at guys that were so highly touted coming out, and they can't see the field. Sometimes that is something to do with those kids, and they just don't pan out. But a lot of times it's because there's guys that are pretty good that they can't pass up.
Right. And
let's
when
look
we
at
go 15-0, it's probably the latter.
I saw Trey Palmer posted today because it's 33 days until football season. So Trey Palmer was the number 33 that people were spotlighting.
Uh-huh.
Trey Palmer is a great example of that. 5-star coming out. He is probably our fourth wide receiver at this point, right?
Yeah.
Well, isn't no probably about it. He is. So
Yeah.
he's.
I wouldn't be shocked to see him beat out Racy, but yeah.
It sounds like Racy McMath is just on a whole different level right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no way
just think if
there's no
Trey-
way you're beating out the other two. So
Yeah. I just think Trey Palmer's a really good route runner, and if he improves his hands, then
that's
he's
another
gonna be-
another place where there's such depth that you have guys that are just sitting back there, and nationally and all these other places they're just looking at, oh, well, you lost Justin Jefferson, so what are you going to do to replace him? They don't even have any idea what we have back behind him. They don't even know who Terrace Marshall is, because he was our third wide receiver last year, and he could start for anybody.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like, okay, we are loaded, guys. Obviously, I think our weakest positions are probably offensive line. On the offense, I should say, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think running back is still not question mark. I just don't think we use the running back the same way that a lot of teams do. If you get these guys in space, man, that's what our offense is about, is getting guys in space.
Yeah.
Any other questions from LSU fan?
No. He said Bradford he hasn't seen play it down in college yet though.
Which
is fair.
Why?
Because Adrian McGee and
Yes.
Who else did we have?
Because
last
other
year?
guys.
Who else did we have?
So
last year?
you've
Who
seen
did I have?
Chasen Hines play, right?
Yeah.
He looks pretty good.
Yeah. He looked good his freshman year.
The only
Remember
person
that.
you haven't seen play is Liam Shanahan.
Right.
And everybody sounds like they're just, thank God Liam Shanahan's here.
That's
right?
how I feel about every position on the entire team. It's like, bring up any position and tell me why you have doubts. I can tell you why.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can clear those up for you real quick.
And it goes back to, all right, you tell me a game that you have doubts that we're not going to win this year. I can tell you why I am confident that we're going to win that game. It's the same thing.
If I had to pick one position, though, that I have the biggest question mark about, I would say pass rush.
Yeah, I can see that because you don't have proven guys.
No.
I think
None.
I think this is what's perfect about Bo Pelini.
I think we have plenty of talent.
I think this is what's perfect about Bo Pelini.
Yeah.
He's going to bring blitz packages that you hadn't seen with Aranda. And Aranda could bring great blitz packages.
Right.
The Marcel Brooks package that he would bring in, I loved. But and he would still rush 4 sometimes, and all he was doing was a twist up front. It wasn't anything complicated. But, man, Pelini is going to bring linebackers. He's going to bring safeties off the edge.
I don't think he's going to do anything too complicated, though. It'll probably be simpler than what Dave Aranda was trying to do, but it'll just be more aggressive. It'll just be more.
When you have guys like Stingley, Flott, Ricks on the outside, you play man up and you bring the heat.
Yeah,
and you got a guy like Stevens who can roam everywhere. You're lined up perfectly for a super aggressive defense.
You're never going to see that cage blitz again that
No.
Aranda liked to do, like we did the entire game against Texas.
Right.
That drove me nuts.
No, you totally played in their hands with a defensive like that.
Yeah.
A defensive game plan like that, I
Right.
should say. And Chason couldn't do anything against that tackle because they were trying to keep him one-on-one against that tackle, and that tackle ate him up in that game.
Mm-hmm.
We're not playing him this year, of course, but
I sure am disappointed that we don't get to play him. I was really looking forward to
well,
it.
he's more disappointed. He's crying.
He's crying, yeah. I didn't cry.
All right, guys, we're really going to wrap it up now. Do we have another question?
We have 2 more questions.
All right, come on, give it.
All right, how many times will Bo Pelini lose his temper? I'd say none.
Oh, how many times will he lose his temper?
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to lose his temper quite a few times.
Like I'm talking. The way I read it was like, the typical Nebraska, like going crazy.
Oh,
I don't think that'll happen. Like
Yes.
the viral.
Yes, it will.
Losing your mind moments.
He will chew somebody's ass out in your face. No apologies needed. That's Bo Pelini.
I'm all for it.
And that's why players love him, actually. What's the other question?
The other question was, do y'all know of any players injured?
It's like lightning round.
Yeah,
I like it.
I do too.
Any players injured? I haven't heard of any players injured. I heard Grant Delpit was hurt today.
Oh, jeez,
That's terrible.
Tough.
I know.
I heard it's an Achilles, man.
I know. So
Got carted off the field.
I haven't heard anything from LSU injury wise. Not that I'm in the know or anything, but I think we had heard somebody say something.
Austin Deculus was out on last Monday.
You think that was the coronavirus?
And it's the coronavirus. It's absolutely the coronavirus.
He was out with undisclosed reasons, and then
2 or 3 players are out with the coronavirus. Huh?
Like, yeah. So Jack
Are
magically
we able
puts
to put 2 and 2 together? I don't know.
yeah. So we think Austin Deculus was out for a couple of days for that.
Yeah.
I should have asked Zach about testing. I'm sure he's getting tested like crazy.
How
right?
aggravated were you when he told us he wouldn't tell us of any of the other freshmen?
Oh, I know.
God.
Or like what players he's saying. I don't want everybody to know. Yeah.
I was about to just say, like, please, just give us something. Who is the Kevin Falk starter running back?
Kevin Falk starting running back?
We had just talked about it. How it reminds me of 2012 with you got a loaded backfield and a bunch of really good players. And I think if someone's going to break out of the pack, I think John Emery, just based on the amount of talent he has.
Well, we've been saying that for a long time with John Emery, so I feel like I need to see it now to believe it. I don't know.
Freshman,
To me, Davis Price is a complete running back.
Yeah.
Now,
someone said the other day that he reminds him of Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, I could see that.
And,
but to me,
I had said that before.
Chris Curry, there's something about him, and it was so evident in that Oklahoma game where obviously he could run people over, but I just saw a quicker scat back also that could fit in this offense very well, especially like in a shotgun. You have a one back set. You got guys going in motion. I see a guy like him doing very well. Then I also see John Emery, of course, going out wide and getting being a matchup nightmare against a linebacker or somebody like that, or a safety.
Yeah.
To me, it's about matchups for this offense, and guys like that are going to be matchup nightmares.
Yeah,
especially, all right, so here's another thing. You split everybody out wide, right? And you have Davis Price back in with maybe a 5 to 6 man box. You see a guy like that just bulldozing his way around.
Yeah. What I'm excited about is, man, our freaking comments are blowing up here.
Here we go. All right, lightning round.
No questions here. They're just talking about Chris Curry on here.
Okay.
What was I about to say? Oh, what I'm excited about is, like, we're going to be able to go, like, with some, like, 12 personnel this year.
Right.
You know, and you get Cole Taylor in there, you get Eric Gilbert in there, and, like, both those guys are excellent receivers.
Cole Taylor, let's pump the brakes, right?
What? Pump the brakes, why?
Because he's a freshman. I understand he's 6'7", 240, and he all the eyes and everything.
Where's Jamal Pettigrew?
I agree. You don't have depth there, but are we
Pettigrew,
really going to see two tight end sets?
Almost certain Jamal Pettigrew left because he was the third tight end.
You really think we're going to have two tight end sets going on right now?
I think you could. Why wouldn't you? You got two receiving threats like those two guys, and then you put them both in, and you're very versatile on offense now. You get those two plus Terrace Marshall and Jamar, obviously.
Right.
Any of the 3 or 4 tight ends. I mean, 3 or 4 running backs.
I don't want us to get in the weeds of, not us, but I don't want LSU to get in the weeds of trying new packages.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying, for a couple plays here and there.
Yeah,
you know how everybody got excited about having something went wrong. It's not your fault. Maybe it's just my computer.
I just don't want us to get in the weeds of trying different things to be different, and we get away from the things that worked so well last year.
I think of it more as how people got excited about having, for some plays here and there, having Tyler Shelvin and Apu Ika on the field at the same time. I kind of think of it like that.
Right. All right. I'm really doing an outro now.
Cutting it short.
We're cutting it short tonight. Hour and 30 minutes. Again, guys, check us out on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you can find your podcasts. Look us up, One Team One Podcast. Also go to our website, oneteamonepodcast.com. It is Matt and Jack. We're going to be back with episode 27 coming up either later this week or early next. I'm not sure yet. Depends on storms, I think. My voice is going up high. All right, guys. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you later.
Let's go! One team!
One team, one podcast. One team, one team, one podcast. One team, one podcast. One team, one team, one podcast.
Team One Podcast?
One Team One Podcast.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good job.
Yeah.